everything here is from the co-op. I did not buy anything outside the co-op, except they usually have the malt vinegar. They did not today. Anyway, so you infuse this stuff and peppercorns are in here too, for like a week. And then you have this beautiful seasoned vinegar, which if you'd like to taste it, anybody want to taste it? Give me some cups or some spoons or something. All right. All right. So I have not. So what you would do is, because I'm still infusing this one, it's been about 5 days for this, is you would strain it out and then just put it in a clean bottle, right? But I'm still going to infuse it for a couple days.
Can you tell us what kind of vinegar did you use as the base? Was it malt vinegar?
This was a champagne vinegar. Is that what I used? I used different ones. So, this is white balsamic. So we use a million different vinegars in this book, and I don't always remember. But this is a white balsamic vinegar, so a little bit sweet. Oh, that's got a little bit of. But really, you could use champagne vinegar, you could use sherry vinegar, white wine vinegar, you could use white distilled vinegar. Are you getting the flavor from it?
Everyone have one? One more.
Oh, yeah. Okay, don't do that one. I just drank that one. Yeah. Anybody else?
One more. Cheers.
There you go. Okay.
You have to repeat it.
All right, so we're going to use that. I think I'm going to make a double batch of hippie vinaigrette. So I need 6 tablespoons of this stuff. Anybody know how many tablespoons are in a quarter cup?
4.
Good on you. Okay, so I'm just going to make it easy on myself and do a quarter cup. And then 2 more. 1/8 cup. Okay, if there are 4 1/4 cup, how many are in 1/8 cup? All right, everybody remembers their elementary school math. That's really, really good. But I'm going to double the recipe actually today because I might need to. Okay. Olive oil.
And all the recipes you're doing today are out of that book?
All of the recipes are out of this book. Invite me back again. I literally just filed a hot sauce cookbook yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be called Hot Saucy. So after I did Coastal, they asked me to do Snoop Dogg's weed baking book. So I spent 2 months getting high and eating cookies.
With Snoop?
No, Snoop has nothing. He's just a brand. That guy doesn't even show up for a photo shoot. They send a photo. I mean, has nothing to do at all with the.
Olympics, right?
No, I mean he has nothing to do with the cooking.
Oh.
But he's into it. That's fine. And okay. The secret ingredient of this sauce, of this dressing, is Bragg's liquid aminos. So this adds a kind of soy sauce-like umami. It is not as salty, and it's a little bit, thinner, a little bit more delicate, but it's super delicious in a dressing. We're going 1/2 cup. I gotta open it. Anyway, so then I did the Ghirardelli cookbook. So lots of chocolate. And and then yesterday I finished this hot sauce cookbook. Honey. Where's my honey? Nope. So to balance out the umami of the Bragg's, we're going to do a 1/4 cup of honey.
What exactly is the Bragg? Can you tell us what exactly the Bragg's is?
Amino acids are proteins. So it's a fermented thing that is similar to soy sauce, but not as salty. Right? Okay.
Very protein.
Vegetable protein from soybeans.
There you go. So that is very similar to soy sauce. But like I said, it's just not. I don't believe that the salt ferment is the intensity that a soy sauce ferment is, and we need a whole bunch of. So, cookbooks will say a half a teaspoon of peppercorns. Well, if you're grinding it, how do you really know? It's kind of a pain in the ass. So we just say 10 cranks, or however much you want to put. All right. So.
Do we care which olive oil we're using for the dressing?
Well, we like a California olive oil, but today they don't specify on the field day. I like a California olive oil because the California organic olive oil, that the sourcing is right? It's not lying about what it is or where it comes from. Okay. Spoon for me? Is there a spoon? I just want to taste it. Actually, you know what? I'll taste it this way.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
So that's the not emulsified method.
The broken vinaigrette.
That is a broken vinaigrette. You can see it's broken. All right. So you gotta shake it. Get it going. All right. So
Why is it called hippie vinaigrette?
because it has Bragg's amino acids in it. That's just a kind of hippie ingredient, I think. Okay. So these guys.
If anyone dialed in has a question, just put it in the chat
The fennel.
and we'll repeat it here for you.
I'm going to cut those up. I'm going to save these fronds for the salad. Like I said, I am not going to use these guys, but I will take them home and use them in a stock. I have a garbage can over here. That would be really great. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just going to make some half coins out of these. Beautiful. It's not a garbage can. It's even better. It's a compost can. Okay. So great that we're composting in New York now, isn't it? All right.
So how come you can't use the stalks in the salad?
They're hollow and they're fibrous. They don't taste that good. But there's a lot of they don't taste that good because their texture is not so great. But there's a lot of good flavor in them. So you keep them, but I mean, maybe just this end, the white end of it, once like that's okay. And it's pretty sweet. But once you get to this part, that's hollow and fibrous. And I mean, that just has to do with the way that the plant matures, right? I mean, the sugars in the plant end up feeding whatever, the flowers and it gets kind of fibrous. Okay. All right. One more of these guys. So that is my water going for the potatoes, which I'm going to shred before we cook them. And then they're going to get cooked for like a minute. And they're going to be kind of crunchy, but they're still edible. People are like afraid of crunchy potatoes, but they're cooked enough. The fennel. Right on. Okay. All right.
She has one.
I have a cutting board. I'm just doing it here because I'm tall.
Does anybody have any questions out here?
Yeah, just shout them out.
Shout them out and I'll repeat them so that we hear them on the Zoom.
Yes.
Is the infused recipe for the infused vinegar recipe is in the cookbook? That was the question.
It is. So everything that you would need for the for these recipes is in the cookbook. And there's a bunch of stuff that you can make that's like pantry items, you know? In fact, like we're going to talk about this for a little bit. This is the umami oil, and this is also an infused oil. You know, there's some stuff that you ferment for other things in the book. There's some spice mixes you make.
So question about the oil and vinegar that is infused. Once you have put vegetable matter into it, does it not last as long or do you?
Not last as long, keep it in the fridge.
Okay. And the oil too?
Yes.
Okay.
The oil, you know, will last about a month in a cool, dark place. But all of this stuff you can put in the fridge, you know, I mean, the oil could firm up on you, but just leave it out for a little bit, you know? I mean, all the hot sauces, all that book that I just did, everything goes in the fridge. You don't have to, you know, you could, and even if it's fermented or even if it's tons of vinegar and you're, you know, it could sit on the table, it's always safer to keep it in the fridge. And also, you know, the fridge does not stop fermentation, but it does impede it. I mean, eventually things go bad in the fridge too, as we know.
So once you put that vinegar in the refrigerator, how long can you keep it in there?
I probably like a month or so.
Okay.
Actually, we probably say, I'll tell you. He's saying indefinitely. Or, you know, that's what we said was indefinitely. But, you know, I would say probably a month or so. Or a few months. 3 months.
3 months is good.
3 months.
We'll take 3.
Okay. Cool. All right.
More questions from any of you? I have a question just about the ingredients. Are these the ingredients you must put in this salad or?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Will you tell us about that a little bit?
Sorry, I'm just sort of looking at what I'm doing. I'm like, okay. It's a seasonal herb salad. Seasons change. The herbs change. You know, buy a bunch of stuff, make a huge pile of greens and throw them in the salad. And don't worry about being too fussy about it or, you know, too exacting. I mean, the point of this salad is to just get like something that really feels like the season, you know, like the season that you're in. I am also going to do some radishes. All right. Does everybody know what this thing is? This is a hand version of it.
Oh, yes.
It is the most lethal thing in the kitchen. It's a mandolin. And, you know, this is very co-op, right? Like this one looked like terrible. This one looks great. I'll take these home, right, and braise them. But I'm not putting them in the salad. Just going to mandolin some
without a guard? No guard?
Guard. Well, okay, so the thing about keeping the green on is that you use the green as your handle, right?
I'm going to officially say from the Co-op Food Cooking Squad, do not use a mandolin without a guard unless you are a professional like Betsy.
There's a few other things.
My mother would be very upset if I didn't say that, so.
Make sure your fingers are curled. The oil is infused with.
The question is, what is the oil infused with, by the way?
Shiitake mushrooms, garlic, kombu, bonita flakes. You know what bonita flakes are?
Where's the kombu in the Co-op? Is that a refrigerated item or is it dried?
No, it is not. It's hanging in bags on aisle 5. and so is the bonito flakes and parsley. So the garlic and the kombu and you heat the oil and the garlic and the kombu and the mushrooms, the shiitake mushrooms, sit in that oil infusing. And then when you're sort of done cooking that at the end, you put the pot in the sink and then you add the parsley and the bonito flakes because they have some water in them. And what happens when oil, we're going back to emulsification. What happens when oil and water get together, right? They cause they repel each other.
So you cook the oil when you're?
So the oil you are warming up, you're cooking it. And then you're cooking it so that you can get the flavor out of the garlic and the shiitake mushrooms and then the kombu. And then when it's sort of off the biggest heat, when you turn off the heat, you put it in the sink and you throw the other stuff in it. And then you let it sit and infuse for an hour and then you strain it. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop there. So I brought this from home. I'm just going to throw everything in there.
What's that?
Parsley.
And you're including the stems?
Yes, I am, because my favorite part of the parsley is the stems.
And you're tearing, not cutting?
And I'm tearing, not cutting. You can cut if you want, but you don't have to.
That was great.
I'm not going to cut the puntarelle. I'm going to tear the puntarelle.
How do you know what breaking?
The question is, how do you know how much of each item to throw into the bowl?
Well, I would say, for instance, this is pretty bitter. So unless you're like, I want to make a bitter winter salad with some orange slices and some nuts, you probably don't want too much of that. So a little bit less of that. But, just do what you want. Make yourself happy. Find your bliss.
But you don't want to eat a bowl of mint, right? So you want it to be balanced.
But mint with a whole bunch of other stuff is fantastic. Yeah. So, I like a lot of mints. I'm totally fine with having plenty of it in there. I don't want that in there.
But you want to balance it with other stuff, right?
I want to balance it with other stuff, of course.
So what do we have in here so far?
Right now, we've got parsley, mint, and puntarelle. We're going to throw a whole bunch of
fennel is going next.
Fennel in there.
Fennel, mint, puntarelle. We got
puntarelle.
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 Say it. Puntarelle.
Puntarelle.
Puntarelle. Okay.
Now we're taking a class.
So you mentioned winter because it's always fun to make salads in the summer, but in the winter, when it's bleak, what do you put in this?
A lot. You know what? Winter salads are my favorite.
Really?
I love those bitter flavors. So, the co-op has this Asian mix downstairs. It's really beautiful. Try that in salads. It's really, really good stuff. So I use that a lot. But in the winter, there's just, all sorts of chicories, all sorts of mustards, dandelion green and stuff like that. And if you make a dressing that's a little bit sweet, like the hippie vinaigrette, then, you can, I don't know, find my scissors. Then you can definitely use these bitter greens. And I'll mix them with some sweet lettuce. As you can see, there's no lettuce in this salad.
Why no lettuce?
Why do we need lettuce?
Why no lettuce?
We eat enough lettuce in our lives, right? Lettuce, lettuce, lettuce. Let us not.
So the question is, do you change the dressing based on the season?
Yeah, I frankly change my dressings a lot. I have a standard one I make that's not exactly this one. And usually what I do
That's the secret one, right?
is I make my own red wine vinegar because I'm a wine writer. So I have tons of bottles of wine at my house. And here's how you make red wine vinegar. It's really easy. Take some Bragg's apple cider vinegar, right? And mix it with take like a half a cup of Bragg's. Mix it with a bottle of red wine in a big, container that has, you can buy them on like a big jar. You can buy airlocks on, on Amazon or wherever online. And that allows a little bit of air in so that it can ferment. And what will happen is you'll create, see, the mother is already in that Bragg's, right? It already has active enzymes in it, right? Live culture. So that thing will grow inside your red wine vinegar. I have a crock and it's this big blobby mom in there, right? And that's your yeast culture, your bacteria culture. And that is what ferments the vinegar. And if you use a good bottle of wine, you get like amazing, amazing vinegar. So I will mince up shallots, throw that in the vinegar so they cure a little bit with some salt. Then I add Dijon mustard and then my olive oil and some black pepper. And that's like one I make a lot. But then I change the vinegars out a lot. Sometimes I'll throw a little sesame oil in there. Sometimes I put Bragg's. Sometimes I put honey. Okay. So this guy, and then we're going to throw a bunch
Does Puntarel have another name? Is that?
Yeah, it does have another name. What is it? Rocket. Rocket? No, that's arugula. It does have another name.
Is it sold in the co-op as Puntarel?
I just knew what it was.
Somebody ask the Google.
I mean, it's basically like a dandelion or something. All right. Oh, forgot these guys.
Bitter chicory is the
It is a
other
chicory.
name. So are you a fan of the hand toss or the utensil toss of the salad?
Well, I am a hand tosser until it hits the table and people are in front of me, and then I got these. All right. So that's what the salad looks like. I'm going to dress it. And then you guys can dig in. What time is it? Are we? Okay. All right. So I don't know. I mean, we'll do the potatoes. Whoops. Sorry. Did I splash you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Excuse my hands. Jeff gets to do this.
The question is, do you use salt in the salad?
I do sometimes salt if it's got cucumbers or tomatoes, yeah, because that really brings out the sweetness in those. But generally, I don't feel like, I mean, if there's some salt in your dressing, I don't really feel like you need it. Sorry, getting it all over the place. And I also think
but there is salt in the dressing. Yeah.
there's a little salt in the dressing, and also, you have acid here. Probably don't need it, right? So if you've got like salt is like, acid works sort of the same way. All right, I think that is good. All right, you guys can. So wait, I'm not done. I'm making a huge mess, but I'm not done. There is one more thing that goes on the seasonal herb salad. And that is flowers, which makes the mess that I just made look pretty. And these, amazingly, the co-op has.
Beautiful.
They're not cheap, but man, they're awesome.
Do they taste good?
Yeah. A lot of flowers are kind of spicy, which is sort of nice. I mean, if they hadn't had them, I have organic marigolds in my rooftop container garden. I keep all my, I have a yard, but I do not plant in the yard in Brooklyn. I keep stuff in the containers that I'm going to eat. I would have brought marigolds from the garden, but luckily we had this. Oh, which was pretty nice. All right.
Beautiful.
There you go.
For the people in the room, while you keep going, we'll give them some.
Okay. All right. So
Any other questions in the room?
I'm just going to wash my hands real quick. And then we're going to move on to our Chinese potato salad. Yes.
Recommendations for someone who cooks mostly for themselves, like in terms of how to do salads without being wasteful, or how would you suggest?
Don't dress it. You know, like you can make a big salad and then you can put it in a Ziploc bag with a dry paper towel and just, you know, leave it that way so it's sort of airtight. Like really press out the air and like leave it, and it should be pretty good. You know, it's oxidation is the problem, but also like if you dress it, you're right.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
You have technical salad stored in it. You can be very technical and just take it out, put it in the towel.
Well, that's what it said. I use, you know what, I'm gonna.
Do you have salad storage tips?
Yeah, so that's what I just said. I'm gonna keep all this stuff. That's good stuff. Is that I have a big zipper bag that was like recycled from something else. It's a hard plastic bag. And I put all of the tender greens in my house in there in the crisper drawer. And I put a dry paper towel in there. I push out all the air and I zip it up. And stuff stays pretty well that way. So, but the thing is, you don't want to crunch things up too much. You know, is there enough dressing on that salad? Awesome. You don't want to crunch stuff up too much, you know? So make sure you don't, like, I have so much food in my house, so I'm sort of like, my partner who was a farmer is like, don't crunch. Don't crunch.
Betsy, are you sure you shouldn't be giving people bigger portions? So
Huh? No.
These are very generous portions. You're very privileged tonight. So
Oh God. All right. Now we have some potatoes. Here. I am going to anybody have one of these at home? You know what? I tested these out the other day and they were working. I want to make sure it's good.
What do you have?
Hold on. Am I not plugged in? Plugged in. Oh, it's this guy. So, Cuisinart. You know what? I would be mandolining all these if it weren't for the Cuisinart. This thing makes my life easier. Okay. This is not mine. I do not use a Cuisinart. I use a food processor, but not this one. This one has some attachments. What do I need? You know what I need? Does anybody know where the thing is? There's another part to this. somewhere around here.
Oh, the heater,
Oh,
that tray that it.
what tray? Oh, okay. Oh, no,
You have an
it's not here. It's up in there. But I definitely need it. I can't do this without that. It's probably in that closet. Sorry, guys. In the meantime, we'll mangle in a little bit. So what we're going to do with the potato salad is make matchsticks. And those matchsticks are going to get like just blanched. And then we're going to mix it with a sauce that is Szechuan peppercorns, toasted sesame seeds. It's definitely up in here. Yeah. Well, there's another one behind it up there. If somebody can get, Jeff, maybe you can grab that one that's up there. Anyway, so toasted sesame seeds. Toasted, and the co-op has sesame seeds. They are not toasted. How do you toast your sesame seeds? You put toaster oven is the best thing for your sesame seeds. Just put them on like a little, just aluminum or a little metal tray in the toaster oven at 350. Not too hot so you don't burn them because they're little. They have a lot of them. I had a lot of them. I had about half a cup of them. Took me about 10 minutes. You can smell it, so you know when you're starting to go. There's a smaller one. Yeah, no, that's not it. There's a pusher. Oh, I mean, we might just bail on this one if we can't. Because I don't have the piece of equipment I need.
Yeah, I think that all goes to.
I can try to fill it up and see what happens. Maybe. Not bad. This is why you work on this product. Okay. But look, it is creating matchsticks, so that's good. We're going to put some jalapeno in this. We're only going to put a little bit of jalapeno. Don't need, I mean, you're talking to a gal who just wrote a hot sauce cookbook. You just are doing this for flavor, not really for heat. And so we're just going to put a couple of pieces of jalapeno in when we're done.
How much did you cook the potatoes?
How much what?
Did you cook the potatoes?
I haven't cooked them.
Oh, you haven't cooked them yet?
Nope, I'm going to blanch the matchsticks for a minute. Literally for a minute. Just until they get a little bit wilted. How's the salad? Anybody have any other questions about the salad? It's not supposed to be super easy to eat. Like you're supposed to, it's like, you're an herbivore, you know? You're supposed to need to chew and get some texture and really enjoy like this thing, and the way it might grow in the garden. All right. Stop there. Oh yeah, you could use this vinaigrette with anything really. I am going to. I mean, in that way, it's sort of just a good all-around vinaigrette, right? When I'm making cucumbers, I like to do a little bit of rice wine vinegar and a little bit of sesame oil, and make them a little Asian style. Okay. See, this very stupid sort of. One thing I don't like about the Cuisinart is that you have to construct it. There.
Anybody want more time?
Yep. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm just gonna do a little more than usual. Okay. Okay, this is my favorite knife. I like Japanese knives better than I like German knives. Most chefs either use a German knife or a Japanese knife. What's better about a Japanese knife? It is so light. This thing weighs nothing. And if you're doing a lot of work, it's really exhausting to use a German knife that's very, very heavy. However, if you go take your knives over to Tarzan and get them sharpened there, they do a better job with German knives than you can take them to the hardware store than the Japanese ones because they're using a rotary blade, and the German knives just take to that better. The Japanese ones don't. The Japanese knives, if you're going to get them, you kind of need the hand sharpen them. You can find people who will do it for you. But, huh? I do not know. I have the box over there.
Sean,
And I'll tell you why I don't know, because I'm a food writer and somebody sent it to me as a present. Okay. Okay, this would have taken hours to do if I didn't have the Cuisinart's annoying, but it works. All right. All right. So all of these are just going to go right in here, boiling water. I'm going to give them a big stir, and I'm literally going to leave them in there for like a minute. Yeah, where are they? Oh, thank you for reminding me. Okay.
Main cameras.
In the meantime,
The main cameras.
we have.
Yeah.
Do you know about Szechuan peppercorns? Have you eaten Szechuan peppercorn? Do you know why Szechuan peppercorns? Do you know why actually peppercorns do what they do? Because of something called pepperine. That's why they're spicy. Do you know why Szechuan peppercorns make your mouth tingly and numb? Because they have a substance in them called sanshul. And sanshul interacts with your TRPV1 receptors that are all over your body that are pain receptors.
Oh,
And instead of doing what chili peppers do, which is trick you into think you're being burned, these get them revving. And they actually create like a little, like your mouth starts revving at 50 hertz. You know, your nerve endings are, it actually makes your nerve endings go crazy. Okay. I'll look up the recipes I wrote. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take those potatoes off because they are done at this point. All right, so it would be great if I had a ice bath for this, but I don't. So I am just going to rinse them real well with cold water. I'm going to leave that going. I'm going to leave you're going to pretty much back off because I'm going to leave that burner on because I'm going to toast something on there. Okay. All right. Ugh.
doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now. Will you tell us what you're doing?
So I would, if I had a bowl of ice water, I would be shocking these potatoes. But because I don't have a bowl of ice water, I'm just going to rinse them really well. And what I'm doing is just cooling them down. Big fan of the spray thing. I always think it works faster. It's the same amount of water, but it gets more coverage. Okay. So those are just going to kind of drip dry there for a while. Lost a lot of potatoes there. That's okay. All right. So now we're going to toast our peppercorns. And does anybody know why you toast them? Because heat brings out the aromatic oils, right? You get better flavor. You get the flavor that way. In Indian cooking, there is something called tempering. What they're doing is basically frying, their spices, and it's because it makes all the volatile oils and compounds in those spices come out. And that's the flavor. Okay. Okay, so I need a quarter cup of my umami oil. Just right here. I'm just gonna dunk this guy in my little saucepan here. And I also need sesame oil. So sesame oil, you don't want to cook it for too long because it's sort of delicate. Oh, where is it? Oh. Actually, I'm going to do double because I think I have double potatoes. I'm not like exacting about my, I mean, the only time you really need to be really exacting is when you're fermenting because you want the right amount of salt, basically. That, if you have too much salt when you're fermenting, you kill your ferment. If you don't have enough salt, you let in bad bacteria. So you need to be exacting when you're fermenting. That's why fermenting recipes always have gram measures, because you're weighing proportions against each other. And baking, right? Because baking's a science. But this stuff is just art, man. So, throw some stuff at the wall. Okay. So we're going to heat up the oils a little bit. I'm going to toast these guys. And, teaspoon and a half. I'm just going to sort of, and actually, I'm going to do more of like a tablespoon.
Why doesn't it have
I don't really know. All I know is that like olive oil, whatever the compounds are in it, they are not heat resistant. And so they sort of like a lot of the flavor goes away when you heat it. And that's the same thing with olive oil. Do not use expensive olive oil to cook with. It's just a waste. And in fact, like I oftentimes cook with a neutral oil. That would be vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil, which kind of have flavor, but mainly not. Avocado oil has a low boiling point, so it's not so great, a burn point, so it's not so great for cooking, but it is a neutral oil. Grapeseed oil, right? Those things have a high burn level, so you can cook really high with them. Olive oil has a lower burn level. So it will burn your food. People cook with it all the time and it's beautiful. But for frying and stuff like that, it's not the best thing. So we're just going to toast these up a little bit. In the meantime, I'm just going to get my potatoes a little bit dried.
Betsy, are the peppercorns dry in the pan?
They're in a pan with the umami oil and sesame oil. So they're frying up a little bit. This is going to be more like smaller proportions, you guys. Okay. Okay. So the other thing I need is some garlic. Turn this off. I think I turned it off like that. I don't know how to turn that off. Okay, you want to know a really good garlic trick? If you have a whole bunch of heads of garlic and you hold like a whole bunch of garlic cloves and you need to like skin a ton of them, you know how you do it? Separate the cloves, just sort of like knock them with your hand or like, right? Pull them all apart and just put the cloves with their skins in a bowl like this. Put another bowl of the same size over top of it, like a clamshell, and just shake the bejesus out of it. Shake, 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 shake. And then open it up and all of your garlic is peeled. So I'm just going to chop a few of these. And actually, I also have, if you don't want to chop your garlic, and maybe I won't, maybe I'll just make it faster by not chopping, a microplane. Does everybody have a microplane? So garlic has this little root end here. Hey, Eleanor. That's the woman who's responsible of getting my books finally at the co-op. Thank you so much. They're downstairs. If you want them, I'm going to be clearly cleaning up salad from the floor for a while. So you can go buy it and I'll sign it for you. This root end, always cut that thing off because that's a bacterial cesspool there. Okay, that's chopped enough for me.
What do you mean by bacterial?
That's just where, that's just where if there's gonna be any sort of spoilage or anything, it's where it's gonna happen. Okay. So here's my fun. After it starts sprouting, of course, you can use sprouted garlic. It's totally fine. I sometimes pull out the green part. Sometimes I use it. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll do this first. All right, so that was sizzling in there. These peppercorns now are discarded. We got the flavor out of them. It went into the oil. We'll do a little spin of that. And then we're gonna add some jalapeno. I'm gonna move it over here. Like I said, we're only going to do a few pieces of jalapeno. We don't need a lot. And I'm going to take it right from the center. Okay. Do you know how you make this less spicy? Okay. Where is the most Does anybody know what capsaicin is? Capsaicin, the most active ingredient. The chili pepper actually has up to 25 different capsaicinoids in it, but capsaicin is sort of the big honcho. And that's the spiciest one. So we sort of, say capsaicin. Do you know where the most capsaicin is in this chili pepper? No. The most, it is in the membrane. It's in what they call the placenta, right? The pith, the white pith. The reason you also take the seeds out is that once you process it, the pith squirts its capsaicin onto the seeds and the seeds absorb capsaicin. Right. So that's enough. You could just leave them in and make it spicier, which why not? Okay. So that we are adding some what kind of thing? Oh yeah, the malt vinegar. I forgot about this.
Betsy, we're just about out of time.
Okay. Tablespoon of malt vinegar. I'm just going to do half of that because I know that is. Gonna mix that in. And then our toasted sesame seeds, which I toasted at home. So mix that. The water was really well salted. There was a third of a cup of salt in that water. It was like pasta water, so I don't need to add more salt, right? I'm just gonna add sprinkle these guys on. And that's it. And now you can taste that one.
Any final question?
This is really good this is in our road trip chapter. This is really good to just take on the road with you. You just put it, same thing like I said, just put it in a plastic bag and squeeze out all the air and have at it while you're driving, right? It'll last a few days in the fridge like this. And it's super delicious. And, it's a great side for anything else. It would be good on a sandwich. It would be good in an omelet, or with some eggs, just good with a steak, Okay. Go for it.
Thank you.
Betsy, thank you so much.